Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, we check out the upcoming new Sandy Caves and hear more about future caves and what to expect. Plus, we hear about the plans for the new player experience work going on to help new backers get started with Star Citizen. So this week's Inside Star Citizen kicked off looking at the upcoming Sandy Cave archetype. Now, they have spent the last half year working out how to build additional cave archetypes, not just the visual differences, but also trying to establish their new workflow. And this will make caves better looking and better performing, as well as increasing the speed at which they can create these different archetypes. Now, right now, they're at the point where designers can create a cave room without the assistance of artists, meaning that designers can create a white box cave and then put that into the Houdini software, and this will generate an almost complete finished cave room. So as with all of their processes that we have seen in the past, they create the tools and means to streamline the process while maintaining that visual quality. Now, for Alpha 3.18, these new Sandy Caves will be on the moons Daymar, Magda, Ita and Walla, and on the planet Hurston, in the biomes that make sense. And these new caves, like the old caves, will have that kind of claustrophobic feeling. They will be smoother to traversal through, and they'll have a lot more natural light sources as well. Now, for the first release, unfortunately, there will be no missions that take us to the caves, but that should be remedied shortly, he says. And the caves will also only be explorable on foot, not via a ship or vehicle, but again, this will come eventually. Now, they said that this first release is more about showing the visuals they have developed for the Sand archetype, with future archetypes including Rocky, which will replace the current caves, Acidic, so for places like Ariel and any of the acidic biomes on Hurston, Icey archetypes for Microtech and the icy moons like Lyria, and the Overgrown cave type for forests around forests of Hurston. So this is practically the test cave for the new workflow that will be the method going forwards, and once they dial this down with the Sandy Caves, we should begin to see many more caves and cave types popping up more quickly, just like what we have seen with rivers. Now, personally, I do love these new cave locations as they add a great place for many potential scenarios, like what we have seen with pirates and bounties inside, having to navigate down the dark corridors, also acting as places for players to occupy one day, or creatures. And all of these new cave types will add more points of interest to planets and moons, while making sense to the biomes that they are found in. And I was also happy to hear that they are planning to replace the current caves. As much as I do love them, they are in need of a little visual updates and technical updates with how you explore, because some of them can be a bit iffy at times, trying to traverse all over the surface. But very much looking forward to exploring these new Sandy Caves in 3.18. So next up, we heard about the work that is going on with the upcoming new player experience. Now, this is a little further ahead than 3.18, but Jared did say, don't worry, over this next quarter of Inside Star Citizen, we will be seeing pretty much everything 3.18 has to offer, like the cargo refactor, persistent entity streaming, salvaging, so on and so forth. But this new player experience is to be the onboarding process to help new backers get a better understanding of what to do and how to do it. Think of it as an in-game tutorial to help new players for the first, they say, 30 minutes of gameplay getting into the verse. So Star Citizen does have a huge learning curve, which will likely only get harder as the game and game systems expand, and this new player experience will aid players in navigating firstly the front-end menus, the hubs in which your player wakes up in, stores where they can buy and sell things, getting to the spaceport, using the terminals, getting to the hangar, using your ship, and then doing some light missions to help understand ship and FPS combat, and then progressing from there. Now, in terms of progress on this update, right now the team is working on the FPS HUD, which is initially being built for Squadron 42, so it has all of the contextual hints, and this is under the player interaction experience found on the progress tracker, which I will speak about in a second. Now, once they have done the first pass on the HUD and systems for Squadron 42, this will then be reskinned and brought to the PU. Also needed will be all the signage around the landing zones to help guide players properly on where to be going. Now, this work is more for Squadron, and they did say that it's kind of like a bite-sized experience for the Persistent Universe, with a much larger version coming once they get closer to switching the Persistent Universe to beta. So there is a few things here. Firstly, it is very interesting to hear them mention that it's just a smaller version until beta for the persistent universe, which means the work they are doing for Squadron must indicate that Squadron 42 is pretty much at the beta state and quite far along, as they wouldn't be building a hint system if all of the links and systems weren't there to be linked to. So it must mean that it's pretty well playable at this point. Not saying it's anywhere near complete by any means, obviously there's still a lot more work to do, but you wouldn't waste time doing this hint and tutorial system if there was still a lot of gameplay mechanics to be put in, as the full game will kind of need to be known before they attack all the hints and tutorials. But in regards to this player interaction experience, this is broken up into 3 tiers on the progress tracker. The first being hints and interactions, which actually had 91 weeks work, that finishes next month, which is what they were talking about. The second being lockers and inventory, so the work needed before physical inventory can come in, which will complete around November. And then the last player interaction experience is the visor, hood and helmet. So the hood, of course, removing and carrying and inspecting your physical helmet, the powering up and powered down sequences for the hood, and so on and so forth, which has work all the way through till March. So there is a lot going on there, but the first step, as they say, being Squadron 42 and then the bite-sized version of the PU until the persistent universe is in beta. Anyway, interesting terminology, and hopefully once this new player experience is in the PU, it will actually help new players understand what to do. But with that said, let us move on. So also this week, Lawmakers returns answering our questions. I am actually still working my way reading this post, but there were some very interesting points about a gang that will be found in the Nyx system, historical ships from Star Citizen's history, and whether we may see them or not, or why we haven't so far. To celebrate TOBII Gaming's 21st birthday, the TOBII Eye Tracker 5 is 20% off right now, so if you are in the market for one, now is the best time to pick one up, as it is the best deal that you will find for it. I will provide the link below should you want to grab one, plus the link to my video reviewing it if you would like to check it out beforehand. The latest Jump Point is now available for all RSI subscribers. Jumptown has reopened for the next couple of weekends, with last Friday, August 26th being the kickoff date, and Monday the 29th being the end for this weekend, but Friday the 2nd of September till Monday the 5th of September will be also opened up for next weekend. And finally, Star Citizen Live was cancelled this week, with Jared and the team who would be putting these streams together being at Gamescom, spreading the Star Citizen love via Bar Citizens. And if you went to a Bar Citizen at Gamescom, firstly, I'm very jealous, but secondly, I hope you all had a great time. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.